Okay, I'm going to share a story with you about why are these officials coming out all of a sudden and sharing their stories about contact with aliens or other beings. I've got a good one for you today. Now, I'm going to share with you the source of this. I'm going to actually show it to you and read it for you. And then we want to preface it with a few other things. Media can't be trusted. All right? Now, you can trust me, right? All you want, but I'm just telling you my opinion most of the time and my downloads, and who says that my downloads are any more accurate than anybody else's? You got to go with what you feel and think, and it's okay. And as I shared with you guys before, and I know some of you disagree with this, there is no one truth. I just got interviewed by a group out of Israel, and he said, just give me one statement that you believe. I said, there is no one truth. He says, wow, I believe that. Because if we had one truth, then there would be like a small group of people that are right and everybody be wrong. Is it just your experience that makes it true? Your belief? All the above? We're going to talk about these UFOs and why more people are actually sharing these stories. Are they happening more, or are people just talking about it more? I'm going to share this story with you. It's pretty crazy. Can't snap over here. Let's snap. Welcome to Landria, Onkka on YouTube, here to help you break through those fears and live an amazing life. Welcome to my channel, Break Through Fear. Have you read my book? It's out there. It's a channeled download. I'd get up crazy hours and work for 5 hours, go to bed at 8 o'clock in the morning, sleep a couple hours, get back up and work. And then I was told it had to come out now. Why? We're ready for big things. Now, did you see my video? People are crying. Everybody's crying. In fact, when they're talking to me about crying, they start crying. And we're like, it's very, we're emotional. Why? Something huge is happening. We're all energy. Not my energy and your energy. It's all one thing. There's just concentrations of it. Now, I drew a diagram years ago, and I showed like little dots in one big space, little dots, and they were concentrated dots, but they weren't separate. They weren't in their own circle. So we were all connected, right? But we're in one ocean of energy. So you're going to feel it. If there's a ripple over here, you're going to feel it. And you won't know why. You don't see the ripple or where it came from, but you feel it. That's what's going on right now. So more and more people are going into a higher spiritual state of being, and going into space where they don't have as many limits. Maybe they're not necessarily spiritual, but they're just not confined to their specific truths. And they're realizing there's many truths. Just because I haven't experienced an alien contact doesn't mean it doesn't exist. Maybe I haven't seen beings, but I have seen beings. And I'm going to share that story with you now. I was lifting weights, pulled a tendon. I seen it, it's going away. See, we're still human beings, right? Stuff breaks, stuff gets damaged. That's a limitation we get to experience too. But you, the energy field, never can be damaged. You are eternal. You always have been, you always will be. We can't wrap our head around that. So I'm going to ask you right now to please subscribe to my channel. Let YouTube know that you want more positive information, because that's a truth that exists, and you can believe that too. My Father has many mansions. We're in one here on earth. This is one playing out, and we get to interact any way we want. You can switch roles. You can switch the ending. You can switch the story. You're the producer, the director, the actor. But you still are in the play. You don't get out of the mansion, but you can determine what frequency within it you get to achieve. So if you are in the penthouse, you've mastered it. I talked about karma in my last video. Karma's now. It's not punishment from you being a murderer in your last life. It's that it's ongoing, right? It doesn't end. You're just transforming, and so you get here and you haven't learned that lesson, so you're going to play it out here in another form. It may not include murder, but you're still playing it out. So maybe you become somebody who is a caretaker for somebody who's very ill, and you correct that karma, or you learn from it. It's just learning experience. There's no right nor wrong. And you get kudos for that. You raise your frequency to balance out some nasty thing you did in a last lifetime. That's all it is. So now in this life, you say, okay, I'm going to do something really outstanding. I'm going to give up my life to take care of a parent or whatever, or a child who's come into the world with great challenges. And so you dedicate yourself to that person, and all of a sudden you are valuing life like you didn't in your last life. That's all it is. So now you mastered it. You're going up and up and up, and that's it. Don't overcomplicate. This is bad, and and all these things happen to me. It is the lesson you took on. Master it. Forgive, love, compassion. They are role players. Now let's talk about the UFOs. I have experienced beings. All right? I've experienced light beings. Now, if you've been watching my channel, you know that I was in a meditative state. I was not asleep. I see a lot of things when I go into that theta state. This was not that. I was meditating, and all of a sudden I was standing on my screen and porch, looking in at myself, just staring, and there was a light being next to me. And I said to the light being, it felt more feminine than masculine. I do have two masculine ones and a feminine one. They always stand in threes. The two big ones on the end I sense are very masculine and have spoke to me before in theta state. And I looked at the light being and I said, I think I'm going to give up fear. Thus breakthrough fear seems to be a theme that I was am teaching people how to break through it. And I had to master it myself. So you're going to feel fear. It's going to exist. It's sort of fun. And once you master it, it's sort of fun. It's like, ooh, I'm afraid to jump off this cliff. And you know you can do it, or you're afraid to, bungee jump or jump out of a plane. But it's the fear that makes it so exciting. We want to keep it there. We don't want to take it to the space where you're not doing anything. So this fear, let's talk about how it applies to UFOs. We have fears that are programmed in that say anything that's unknown, that's unfamiliar to me, I fear. I don't know it. I fear it. Somebody looks different. I've been told that that person's going to rob me. Oh, this stuff goes on. You know what I'm talking about, right? We look at each other that way. And then some people say, oh, this white, blonde girl, she's going to be, what do you guys call a Karen? That's the most racist thing I've ever heard. We got to knock it off. No more labels. No more looking at a color and using these words and stuff. This has to end. And if you're doing it, you are part of the problem. You're taking us into density, but I'm not going to choose it. You're going to have to hang out in that basement with everybody else saying it's okay to act like that. And you are welcome at the penthouse anytime. Are you still doing that? Mm-hmm. Watch it with our politics, everything. So these politicians, and I'm going to read this for you in a moment, are coming out and admitting that they have communicated with, seen beings. This one in particular I'm going to read in a moment. Light beings. A monk explained what it was. Then he took it to another space that I'm like, okay. Now what I want to share with you is that I don't put much credibility in Coast to Coast. They talk about such insane things. They get people on there to make up stuff. Corey Good's one of them. These guys have made a fortune and got a lot of attention because they're really fiction writers. And have admitted it, by the way. Have blatantly admitted it. There's an actual lawsuit out there because somebody stole his fiction story. And now we have more people saying that they're in this secret space program. It's not secret if you're talking about it. And by the way, if you're in it, somebody on a roof's going to take you out in about 2 seconds the minute you start talking about it. But it's so ridiculous that anybody out there is going to say, this is insanity. And the public can be very gullible with this stuff. So I want you to know that I take this with a grain of salt. However, we do have, what is it? Was it the former defense secretary, or of Canada? Oh, he came out with a whole story about UFOs, that they're real, he's seen them, that the governments talk about them. So I think sometimes they're in a power position where if they did get taken out, that we'd know that they were telling the truth. So instead, the governments are probably thinking, nah, people think they're wackos, right? You decide. There are too many of these stories coming out. So I'm going to share this story with you right now. Okay, this is really interesting. An Argentine politician raised eyebrows when he revealed a vivid UFO encounter that he experienced years ago. So this mayor, Javier Prieto, he reportedly shared the remarkable account during a recent television interview wherein he was asked about, of all things, aliens. In response, he says, not only do I believe, but I've seen them. We're friends. So here's the really interesting part, because this is really in alignment with something I experienced, but I didn't consider them aliens. But there's a line we're crossing here. Aliens versus interdimensional beings versus just another form of energy, and that we keep separating and naming and labeling. And finally, it's just all a blur, right? Just like somebody in another country looks different than us and they look different. I think this is a great. So he shares with a Tibetan monk, took him and some friends out to the country's countryside. He said to go see these special beings. And as the group stood on a sizable stone, he said a light resembling a white oval suddenly appeared before them. It was soon joined by 4 additional illuminations, which formed a cluster resembling 5 rings. Prieto and his friends, he recalled, stood in awe as the illuminations hovered before them, ultimately disappearing after 15 minutes. He said the monk indicated that the eerie aerial anomalies, an evolved race of peaceful, special beings. He said it was so transformative. He told the program's host that he took his son to a different mountain in the hopes of meeting these entities again. And on this occasion, they witnessed an extraterrestrial city by way of a portal that provided a glimpse of an underground community known as Urks. His fantastic account comes on the heels of a similar vivid tale shared last month by a Chilean senator who claimed that he was once abducted by aliens and then visited by an ET. What? I got to tell you something. So let's just be really honest about this. I'm going to get to the core of it. So what do you think of that? All right, so now we've got government officials that are stepping up to the plate with their own individual stories. Now, Shirley MacLaine was with I guess it was a senator, this is a long decades ago, who they saw a UFO at a friend's home in, I believe it was Colorado. And damned if somebody didn't hear about it, and while he was running for office, mentioned it, and it destroyed him. That's back when you couldn't say that. Yeah, he said, I'm not saying aliens landed. He said we just saw a craft. They didn't know what it was. It was unidentified. And he witnessed it. And for that, he was made fun of. And people will destroy you for that. Why? Because they're in fear. And they've been programmed that that's bad or wacky or whatever. We're moving past this stuff. We're moving out of it. All right, so I have one of my students, Nikki. You guys are going to meet her more and more. She's putting her online business together and deciding, what do we do with these orbs that she sees all the time? She's been sending me stuff, and I'm telling you, it's the real deal. It's the real deal. The animals, she has this ability. Some people have abilities. Just because you and I don't have that ability to see this doesn't mean it doesn't exist. And if we see it, it is not to be feared. So we're opening ourselves more and saying, just because I don't have that ability doesn't mean somebody else isn't seeing it, because everything exists. And it doesn't have to be something fearful. So she's going to be sharing that. It's probably going to be a very short period of time. We're going to bring her, introduce her. I'm going to do a podcast with her. I already brought her on my channel, all right? And, I asked her a question, what are they? We're not really sure. We know that energy takes any form. And so when you go into a non-claimed format, form, like a human, when I'm not playing a role, I can be in between as an orb, as an energy field, because that's what I am anyways. So if I'm not taking on the role of a dense human, then I can do whatever in between. And while I'm a human, okay, we're not even going to go into that, but it's possible for me to be an orb over here and here. Photons are everywhere at one place at the exact same time. They don't travel, they just are. Are you getting this yet? That we're going into a space that's so fabulous. Now, what I shared with you the other day is we had meteorite fly through here. It was pretty huge. We had solar flares. We had the northern lights down here in southern Florida. SpaceX was blowing off their junk in the sky. That was not a UFO, but I witnessed that. There's a lot of things we don't understand. There's a lot of space junk that comes in, you know. So watch what you're looking at. Somebody showed me some, I'm sorry, it was stupid video. And so you've got these of a UFO. It was not a UFO. It was obviously a man-made. It was even making a noise. Like, you can do better than that. We have better technology. And so watch what you're watching. Don't be gullible. Question everything. Question your spiritual teachers. Question what they tell you. You know, read my book and it'll tell you that everything goes. Anything goes. And you get to choose it. It's amazing. All right, so what do you think about this? I believe that absolutely this man saw something, probably some light beams. Why is he sharing this? I don't know, but he's risking his reputation by doing it, which makes me think that these guys are probably legit. Now, did he see underground people that are called Irks? Irks? You could have picked a better name, dude. The Irks irk me. Okay, that was really bad. Underground people. Do I think there's people living underground? Yeah, I think it's possible. What the hell? You know, I mean, oops, what the heck? Who was it? Bird, you know, he flew into supposedly some cavern up, you know, in the Arctic and saw a whole city down there. And this was recorded. This is stuff been going on a long time. Columbus has a recording of seeing a UFO. What is it? A UAP or whatever it is. Underground, you know, aerial phenomena. It comes up from the water. Saw it, lights, and they had lights following them. I think that's real. These guys didn't know what UFOs were back then, but they recorded this stuff. I think it's out there. I think we're going to see more of it, and most of it is because people are just talking about it more. All right? And those of you saying, no, I'm not going to see anything, well, you won't. You won't. With that attitude, you're going to see diddly squat. I don't know about you, but I think it'd be really cool. So I might do a CE5. That is the Stephen Greer's app. I probably got ripped off. I think it was like $5. I'm okay with that. But it makes these noises. Supposedly that they picked up on crop circles, energy fields, and they're supposed to meditate, no drinking, no drugs, no nothing. You meditate and you sit out there for hours. And we're okay here, it's not cold. And then you play this, and supposedly people pick up on UFOs and UAPs, whatever they call them, extraterrestrials. So I think it's pretty cool, and I'm very excited to see more of them. But I think those officials that are willing to put themselves, their reputation on the line to tell these stories is what's really going to just shift us into this space where it's not that big of a deal. It really isn't. Everything exists all at once. Everything is one thing happening. All right, so you guys have seen these. I have master classes, some cool stuff. This is free. And of course, Breakthrough Fear. I have classes that you can pay for and be on with me. I have the Miracle Circle, and it's under $30, and you get an assignment every month, and then you spend time with me in a live training, and then you get a meditation, and our circle gets together. It's really, really cool. If you want to join that, that's possible for you to join here. And so every 30 days we do this. It's very cool. You get an assignment. I'm taking you through some stuff now to help you get into that space where you just let go of the judgment and the limitations and the limiting beliefs. This is Digital Explorers. We are creating online businesses that are planet friendly, and we start with your passion, and we do not create money-making stuff. We create passion, purpose, positive impact that makes money. All right? And that is a success formula. All right? Quit chasing that stuff out there. Money won't make you happy. Get happy, and you'll make a lot of money. And I'm going to help you to create a real business that does that. One with a real structure. You're going to learn exactly how it works, and I help you to create it. You don't have to come in knowing what that is. That's a big problem out there. People are, I want to be a coach, and nobody says, well, let's help you find out what kind of coach you want to be. I actually work with you to put everything together. It's a lot of fun. And the community is amazing. All right, so giving you options. I'm here to provide options for the new world. You are whole and perfect, strong and powerful, loving, harmonious, and harmonious and happy. I was holding it wrong. I'm increasing my weight, so, maybe I got a little bit too ambitious. Blessings to you, my friend. Namaste.